Tonight we will have updates on a man in Boone who got fired for a peculiar reason.
Also, we will learn more about the funding Iowa schools will be getting for their K-12 programs.
And I'll have updates on all things Cyclone sports.
And it's beginning to look a lot like springtime out there in Ames. We had 41 right now, and the day was absolutely beautiful. More details coming up. You're watching Newswatch.
Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Mary Rominger.
And I'm Hollie Schlesselman. Thank you for joining us. An employee was fired from the Boone HyVee after he refused to shave off his mustache. Bob Dentlinger stated that the employee handbook allows employees to have a beard or mustache as long as it is neat and well trimmed. Dentlinger posted his firing from HyVee to Facebook and received an overwhelming amount of support. HyVee then released a statement apologizing for the incident and offered Dentlinger's job back. Dentlinger plans to accept the apology and return to work soon.
The Iowa State Patrol is still investigating a deadly crash that started with the robbery of a pizza delivery driver today. The Ottumwa Police Department stated that the delivery driver, Christian Garrett, was assaulted and then his car was stolen. About 15 minutes later, police stated that the stolen vehicle was involved in a crash that killed 34-year-old Summer Leanne Cox. The driver of the stolen vehicle, 28-year-old Nathaniel Wesley Stroud, was also killed.
For local Iowans, July can't come fast enough. The annual Des Moines Music Festival 8035 announced its headliners today. Among them are Kesha, Courtney Barnett, and Fantagram. The festival returns July 6th and 7th at Western Gateway Park. Tickets are already on sale at 80-35.com.
A 1% increase in basic state aid has received final approval. The aid will go to Iowa's K-12 schools for the upcoming academic year. This represents about $32 million in additional state aid. The current school funding package for the upcoming year is $3.2 billion.
Iowa is the best state in the nation to live in. According to the U.S. News and World Report, the state of Iowa ranked number 1 in the country in the best states ranking. Last year, Iowa was ranked number 6 in the nation. The rankings in the report show how each state performs in over 70 different metrics across 8 categories, including healthcare, education, economy, opportunity, infrastructure, crime, fiscal stability, and quality of life.
A bill allowing the arcade chain Dave & Buster's to open in Iowa passed through the Iowa Senate. The Iowa law that currently limits amusement concession prizes to $100 or less has limited them from opening in Iowa. The pending legislation would raise the cap to $950. It has been confirmed that multiple locations will open in Iowa. Stay tuned after these messages. You're watching Newswatch.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law and advisor, as well as other White House staffers, have reportedly lost their clearance to view top-secret intelligence. While President Trump has the ability to grant Kushner a permanent clearance, he left the decision to General Kelly. The president's daughter, Ivanka, the White House press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and White House counsel, Don McGahn, were also downgraded.
President Trump is ready for his re-election campaign. He announced his new campaign manager, Brand Parscale. Parscale was his digital media director for his 2016 campaign. President Trump's son, Eric, praised Parscale for being an amazing talent. Eric Trump also stated that Parscale has the Trump's family's complete trust.
Gun control is becoming one of the most discussed topics for midterm elections. Since the massacre at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, many have been calling for Republican lawmakers to change their minds on gun control or expect to be booted out of office.
Every public school in West Virginia is closed until further notice. Teachers from the schools are on strike and demanding higher wages and better benefits. So far, the 4-day strike has left more than 250,000 students out of class. While West Virginia Governor Jim Justice signed legislation last week giving teachers a pay raise, educators still say it's not enough.
Police in North Carolina say a man was fatally shot while he was filming himself on Facebook Live. 55-year-old Prentice Robinson was leaving the police station after reporting that a personal item of his was stolen. He was filming himself on a selfie stick when he was shot and killed. The arrested gunman was named by police as Douglas Colson.
Papa John's is no longer the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. The pizza company and the league has made a mutual decision to split just after 4 months. Papa John's former CEO, John Schneider, blamed national anthem protests for declining pizza sales. However, the new CEO, Steve Ritchie, said that Papa John's will continue to play a role on game days. The decision to split means that the pizza chain cannot use team logos, league logos, or a Super Bowl for their promotions. Speaking of sports, stay tuned because after the break we will have Zach Williamson with the sports update.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Zach Williamson with your sports report. The women's basketball team celebrated what their seniors have done for their program Saturday. I was able to make it over there for the festivities.
It was senior night in Ames, Iowa, as both Emily Durr and Claire Ricketts were playing their final game inside Hilton Coliseum. The Cyclones were looking to send them seniors out on a terrific note with an upset win over the 6th-ranked Texas Longhorns, while Texas was trying to spoil the party. Durr not messing around, getting on the board early here with the jumper, and brings the score within 5. A few plays later, Carlton with a nice finish in the paint. She finished with 23 points. Cyclones down 21-17 at the end of the first quarter. The Longhorns dominated the glass all night. This second chance basket helped give the Texas Longhorns a 41-29 lead at the half. But the Cyclones didn't go away. Durr finds freshman Kristen Scott for an easy 2, and then sophomore Adriana Camber lays it in just before the buzzer sounds. And the same Cyclone team that lost to Texas by 32 earlier in the season trailed by just 7 heading to the 4th. However, Iowa State just ran out of gas late, and their upset bid falls just short with a final score of 72-59. Durr says that the team and the fans have made her time as a Cyclone very special.
Personally, I think these fans are the best in the country. I've had the best 4 years here, honestly. I wouldn't change one thing about it. And I just hope, they remember me next year, and I hope they, do really good next year.
It gave this program, I think, in my mind, exactly what it needed when it needed it. And this program's in a better place moving forward for whatever happens. So, and that's a credit to Emily Durr and to Claire Ricketts, and I can't thank them enough and their families for making that happen.
The women's team is in action right now as they lead 53-40-47 with 4 minutes to play. With a win, the Cyclones will be the 7th seed in the Big 12 tournament. A loss would make them the 8th seed, and they'd play Kansas again in the first round of the tournament. The Iowa State softball team cooled down a little bit this weekend, going 2-3 at the Aquafina Invitational. 2 of those games came against the 2nd-ranked Florida Gators, losing both 8-0 and 3-0. In their 2 wins against Georgia Southern and Illinois State, Brianna Wheelbacher stole the show, throwing a total of 14 innings, allowing no runs and striking out 7. The 8-7 Cyclones will be back in the Sunshine State this weekend to compete in the Courtyard Marriott Osprey Classic in Jacksonville. The Cyclones open the tournament by taking on Virginia Tech Friday at 12 p.m. The men's team lost a close game to the TCU Horned Frogs last Wednesday. Our very own Mary Rominger has more.
Action has just gone underway here inside Hilton Coliseum as the 13-13 Iowa State Cyclones are taking on the 18-9 TCU Horned Frogs. Storylines reign the court here tonight as Iowa State is battling some lineup adversity. Both Solomon Young and Nick Weller-Babb have been ruled out for the entire season. season. On the other hand, TCU is seeking their first regular season sweep over Iowa State since being entered into the Big 12. Currently, TCU is 4 spots above Iowa State in those Big 12 standings, but TCU knows that Iowa State still poses a threat as Iowa State defeated 3 previously ranked opponents this year. The first half was all Iowa State. The team took control early courtesy of a 10-0 run to make it 26-18 with 10:54 remaining in the opening frame. The Cyclones led 47-41 going into the half. The second half was a completely different story. TCU came out hot, making 10 of 12 shots to take a 62-56 lead. Zoran Talley Jr. helped the Cyclones close the gap, but the Horned Frogs had the answer every time. It was a close battle that went down to the final minutes. But despite senior point guard Donovan Jackson having 27 points, Iowa State couldn't regain the lead. TCU took the game and improved to 19-9 and 7-8 in conference play. From ISU TV, I'm Mary Rominger.
Saturday, the men's basketball team fell again, this time to West Virginia 70-85. The Cyclones were playing without senior Donovan Jackson, who was at his father's funeral after learning about the tragic death about a week and a half ago. Lindell Wigginton led the Cyclones in that game with 29 points. But Jackson did return to the lineup tonight against Oklahoma State and is playing his last game ever at Hilton Coliseum. Jeff Beverly and Hans Brace were also recognized tonight for the senior night celebration. The game finished up moments ago, and the Cyclones couldn't quite pull it off on senior night, losing 80-71. Iowa State will finish up their regular season Friday in Norman, Oklahoma versus the Sooners. The gymnastics team has 5 more wins under their belt after a very successful weekend at home and on the road. The 23rd ranked Cyclones started off the weekend by defeating 19th ranked Minnesota, Michigan State, and Wisconsin Stout at home. They didn't lose their stride at all Sunday, beating Lindenwood and Illinois State on the road and breaking their season meet point record with a score of 196.5. The schedule doesn't get any easier for the 15-2 Cyclones as they compete Sunday in the Masters Classic in Lincoln, Nebraska against the 14th ranked Huskers, the 2nd ranked UCLA Bruins, and Kent State. Don't go away, we will have our weather updates from Jim Heinrichs after the break.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Jim Heinrichs here with your weather report. Now, Ames has been experiencing some warm weather. So right now in Ames, we got 41 degrees, a little bit cloudy out there, but winds are staying calm. And looking at a little history lesson for you. Today we had a high of 56 degrees and a low of 27. Now our average for the area is actually a high of 40 and a low of 23. So a lot warmer than it usually is for this time of year. And also we've got some rainfall averages. Normal average is about 0.59 inches, whereas right now this month we've gotten 1.76 inches. So it's getting a little moist in Ames, but not too bad. And a little bit of headlines out there. It's looking like mostly cloudy tomorrow with a little bit of snow possibility, but we're looking forward to a warm weekend, so we'll get more into that. Right now, we're looking at the temperatures throughout Iowa. We've got 41 degrees in Ames and 52 in Des Moines. Atum was feeling the heat down here at 58 degrees, while Spencer up in the corner here is still feeling a little bit of the cold, about 29 degrees up in Spencer. And in the hometown of Davenport, we've got about 53 degrees out. And looking at the satellite radar, right now we're not experiencing too much cloud coverage, just a little bit passing through the state of Iowa. Up in Wisconsin, we've got a little bit of rainfall, but nothing too bad for Iowa. And looking at tonight, we've got a little bit of a cloudy night out there, a little bit of fog. We're going to have a high of 29, so it's not going to be too cold out there. A little bit cloudy still, and we're going to be having a little bit of wind from the north at around 5 to 10 miles per hour out there. And tomorrow, we got a high of 46, mostly sunny throughout the day, so that'll be great. And again, not experiencing too much wind, got 5 to 10 miles per hour coming in from the west-northwest. Now a look ahead at tomorrow. We've got 32 degrees to start off the day, so a little bit cold out there, but throughout the morning, we're going to rise up into the mid-40s, and we'll sink back down in the evening to about 36 degrees at 8 p.m. And we'll take a look at your extended forecast. Like I said, 46 degrees tomorrow, and the rest of the week looks to be following suit. 41 degrees for a high on Thursday, and on Friday we're looking at around 47 degrees. This weekend's going to be a pretty warm one out there, so get ready for that. About 54 degrees on Saturday and sunny, so that'll be a great day to go out to Central Campus and just hammock or play some Ultimate or anything like that. And 52 degrees on Sunday. Now Monday, we're looking forward to a little bit of rain out there, about 20% chance, and about 43 degrees for the high. So make sure you're packing up your jackets and your umbrellas. And to finish off, we've got 37 degrees on Tuesday to kind of take the beginning of the week back down. And that's about all we've got for weather. Stay tuned for more Newswatch. Remember to stay warm, stay cold, and stay classy, Ames.
Welcome back to Newswatch. In an interview with E! News' Sibley Schools, the stars of A Wrinkle in Time, Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, and Mindy Kaling had to reveal the things they still did themselves. It was discovered that Reese is the only one to pump her own gas, and Oprah went to Starbucks and they didn't even recognize her or know how to spell her name.
New holidays can be made by anyone. If you name any day, it's probably a holiday. There are only 10 official federal holidays, but if you wanted to celebrate every day, there are tons of wacky ones to enjoy. Today is National Strawberry Day.
You know, I do love me a good strawberry. And you know what else I love? ISU TV. We should definitely make our own National ISU TV Day. But until then, you can all follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ISU TV.
And, well, that's all we have for tonight's edition of Newswatch.
Tune in again on Thursday for more news, weather, and sports.
Stay safe, guys, and have a very good night, Ames.